A public health crisis has emerged in India with at least 18 children dead and dozens more critically ill after consuming contaminated cough syrups. The implicated product, Coldriff, manufactured by Sresan Pharma in Tamil Nadu, was found to contain diethylene glycol, a toxic industrial solvent linked to kidney failure and seizures. In response, the Union Health Ministry convened an emergency meeting today, leading to the cancellation of Sresan Pharma's license and the initiation of criminal proceedings against the company. States including Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Telangana and Rajasthan have suspended the sale and distribution of Coldriff and other implicated syrups. A local pediatrician in Madhya Pradesh has even been arrested for prescribing the syrup. Tonight we ask, was this an isolated manufacturing lapse or evidence of a regulatory rot, supply chain negligence and corporate irresponsibility? Is invoking revised Schedule M, which is a key regulatory framework under the Drugs and Cosmetics Rule 1945, and license cancellations enough? Or do we need a full overhaul of policing, accountability and public safety in India's pharma system?
వాళ్ళు బ్లాక్ వాళ్ళు వచ్చి షూట్ చేసిర్రంట, ఇట్లా అయ్యింది నైటు అని చెప్పి.
जो मैन्युफैक्चरर है कोल्ड्रिफ की और इसके अतिरिक्त जो डॉक्टर हैं जिन्हें प्रिस्क्राइब किया है, डॉक्टर प्रवीण सोनी, इनके खिलाफ में प्रकरण पंजीबद्ध किया गया है.
डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर की हमें जानकारी मिली जिनके यहाँ ये प्रोडक्ट आया था इस बैच का. उसमें से एक के यहाँ भी दूसरी टीम कार्रवाई कर रही है और एक जगह भी हम लोग हैं.
Let me open this panel up. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, the Padma Shri awardee and chairman, Nephron Clinic, is joining us. Also joining us is Amulya Lidhi, national convener, Jan Swasth Abhiyan India. And with us is Dr. Aseem Mehti, who is a consultant pediatrician. Dr. Mehti, I'd begin with you since we are talking about children, unfortunately in this case. Let's talk about cough. And childhood cough is self-limiting. Why do doctors then so readily prescribe these cough syrups to children?
Actually, there is inadvertent use of cough syrup in practice, even not only by the general practitioners, but also by the pediatricians, whether in the hospitals or in the private practice and everywhere. The cough syrup is only indicated in productive cough or expectoration is needed. Expiration of the cough. Whenever there is some lower respiratory tract infections, sometimes some low dose of salbutamol or terbutaline where the bronchospasm is there. In some specific cases, the cough syrup is recommended. Otherwise, the only soothing cough syrup, which is not available in the market. Previously, it was available, but some sort of medicines are available with the Ayurvedic composition, some that is absolutely harmless, and soothing cough syrup like just in homemade procedures, that is much safer. You can add some honey to lukewarm water and just allow the baby to swallow. And this cold drip cough syrup, this is I don't know why why those doctors, knowing the proper composition of the nasty diethylene glycol, which is not at all a part, should be a part of cough syrup. It is nothing but a solvent. It is a poison. As you know, it is just acts as solvents for manufacturing of some chemicals like painting, resins, and etc. And also some freezing agents. Otherwise, it shouldn't be a part of a cough syrup, because I don't know why the doctors, maximum doctors are prescribing salbutamol below 6 months, which is useless because the bronchial smooth muscle develops after 6 months. But in our practice in Kolkata, we are also seeing that maximum doctors giving the cough syrup at random, without any basis and all. And I think, as you have explained briefly, the cough syrup already dispensed throughout in India. It should be inquired and monitored, because this type of cold read cough syrup, there's thousands of company, those who are not GMP certified or GMP modified. These cough syrups are why the registered practitioners are prescribing. They not only be they should be suspended, but they should get exemplable punishment, because this is a criminal assault and criminal offense, because this is contamination and adulteration of the cough syrup, which is very unfortunate.
Okay, we do have a pharma sector expert, Amitav Guha, who's also joining us. Mr. Guha, thank you so much for joining us. I would pose this next question to you. How do these compliance issues really happen? When there are strict guidelines, then how do these supply chain lapses? In this case, we have this industrial grade solvent that is, present in products like Colrif, the license of which now stands cancelled. But how does it even happen? What do the pharma sectors and all of these companies particularly have as far as their companies are concerned to take a look at this kind of a quality control so that they don't go ahead and, end up getting drugs like this?
Well, there are severe lapses in many places. See, it reminds us about the contamination cases, very famous cases of contamination of ethylene glycol with glycerin. And there was a Supreme High Court case, Bombay High Court's case, which was a legendary verdict, came from Justice Lentin, when he said there is an unholy nexus exists with the industry, certain unholy doctors, unscrupulous doctors, and the dispensers. So this remains unchecked and it continues. As a result, it happens. Now the first question is that why the doctors prescribe cough syrup at all?
Yes.
Children or adult, whoever may be.
And that to children
Which
under
textbook?
2.
Huh?
That to children
Hello?
under 2, it's not advised.
No. If you go through the textbooks, no textbooks recommend use of cough syrup as a whole, children or grown up, whatever may be.
Okay.
So why do they prescribe cough syrup, and that too for children? And this contamination happens because there is no checks and control, no inspection system. The government says, our central government inclusively says that inspection is not required. So inspection system has been stalled by the government. And such a serious situation, when things remains unchecked, it can cause death, it can toll life. And that has happened exactly in this case of the children's diet. Now, today I found one report that the government formed a committee, and the committee finally said that no, there was no contamination. Then why children died? There was no contamination. Why children died specifically after taking this particular cough syrup? The government committee says, which includes the ICMR person also.
But eventually then there was a retraction of that comment. But hold on to that thought, sir. I would want to bring in Amulya Nidhi. Amulya, you have written to the Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister, particularly after these children deaths that were reported, and they were primarily associated with Colrif, the cough syrup, something that one particular pediatrician also prescribed to very many of these children. He now has been taken into custody. But is that enough?
See, the issue here is basically, if you see the entire process, if you see, and we had also written to Chief Minister of Rajasthan, also our JSA India Rajasthan unit has also written to CM Rajasthan. So if you see what is the process, if you see there is a delay in investigation, because the first case has been identified on September 7th, and almost 1 month you are delaying the investigation, and the second part is also delay in action. You are taking action now today and yesterday, in last 2 days you are taking action. What you are doing, you are sleeping in last 10, 20 and 25 days. Also, if you see the entire testing things, 29th September, the government has sent the samples to the various labs and all that. How many days it takes time? 48 or 72 hours maximum. So why not the report come on timely? So why there is a delay in sending the samples itself? And if you see the entire CAG report of Rajasthan as well as the Madhya Pradesh, they have already highlighted delay in the quality assurance process. Whenever the government purchases any medicine or any cough syrup, there is a process of quality test reports. CAG report has already highlighted that there is a severe lapse. The drugs have expired. There is no annual drug plan for within the government. And also, if you see, what about the compensation? The law is silent on compensation. What are the penalty action the government has taken? You have done arrest the doctor, pediatric surgeons. If you see the doctors, pediatric surgeons of the same Chhindwara hospital, Dr. Pawan Nandurbar, what he said, that the kidney injury report, renal biopsy reports confirm that there is some toxic substances. If you see also the medical history is cough syrup. If this has been already investigated by the local
but while you say that,
delay?
there was this emergency meeting that was convened by the health ministry, particularly in the state of Rajasthan, where there have been several of those children deaths that have also been reported from. None of those deaths, it has come to light, are a result of consumption of cough syrup. That too came out of that meeting, sir.
That is after how many days? Why not on September this meeting happens? After 7 September, children are dying. If your 7 or 8 and 10 children died, then you are convening a meeting, the central government is convening a meeting. Also, how the supply has come. See, the important is if Tamil Nadu, some pharma is making, where this cough syrup has come to the government system. It has the process. There is a medical service corporations. So now the delay in action, and also what are the penalty you are taking? You are just banning the coughs. Whether it is what are the penalty about the corporations, in the both the corporation which if there is a free medical schemes, and if you see the drug, the 500 and 400 drugs are the essential drug list under the scheme is supplied to all the hospitals. If you see the history in the Madhya Pradesh, there is substandard drugs has been supplied to the government hospital. This has been raised by the Medical Officer Association.
Okay.
And this has been highlighted by this. So there is a delay and there is no law is silent on the company. Why not if you see those children had died, their parents, they already expend in private hospitals 3 lakh and 4 lakh and 5 lakh rupees. I came across, I discussed with some of the parents there. So this is the situation. Why the 4 lakh rupees you are compensating?
So no matter how much of a law being stringent, the implementation at a state level is really not happening. Dr. Bagai, I would want your expert opinion on this, and I'd also want to bring to light certain global precedents like 2022 Gambia, Uzbekistan. There have been these instances that involved the Indian manufacturers and the products by Indian manufacturers, and that had led to bans and arrests. Why hasn't the industry really learned from these, and what role should international bodies like the WHO really play here?
Good evening. So there are 3 or 4 very important but distinct points which I want to highlight. One is the use of cough syrups per se in pediatrics should be restricted. It should be under medical supervision. The doses, especially in small children, of any medication is always calculated according to milligram per kilogram per day.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the cough syrups are in various variety of combinations, not having one ingredient, but sometimes 3 or 4. And inadvertently, there are bronchodilators also included in cough syrups, which creates a huge mess. So I think we need a more awareness amongst not only the doctors, but in the public community itself. Point number 2 is the aspect of this contamination, what we call as adultering the medication. What has come to light is that there are ingredients of ethylene glycol or diethylene glycol. I won't go into the details of that. It's an industrial poison. It's an industrial dilutant. What it actually does in the body within 12 to 24 hours is there is a complete kidney shutdown.
Okay.
This particular contaminant, which is a poison, is metabolized in the body of small children to oxalic acid, and this deposits as crystals in your kidneys, and your kidneys pack up. Point number 3 is, where are these medicines being procured from? The most unregulated part in Indian healthcare as a parallel support structure are the chemists and the pharmacists. You can go in and you can do a sting operation in any pharmacist and chemist in the major metros or elsewhere, and you will get any drug without a valid prescription, without a receipt, without an invoice, pay cash. And worst of all is the chemists and pharmacists very often dispense medicines on their own. I mean, they are actually faking as doctors and working.
Yeah.
So I think there is a serial lapse with regards the punishment. There is a very clear mandate which the law states under the BNS under various sections. It's life imprisonment and penalty, and I think the most severe punishment needs to be meted out.
But we go back
in
to the
final-
same question, Dr. Bagai, and I was mentioning you with the WHO over here because I believe, and this was what I in fact, came to light when it is in the process of researching about this debate, was about WHO issuing these 6 global medical product alerts since the year 2022. We're talking about 2025 here. There always been those alerts, and here we're talking about 300 deaths of children worldwide that have been reported, and similar instances have come to light, and that's why WHO also had stepped in. And that is a 2-level testing process that the WHO speaks about, whether it is this initial thin layer, chromatography, something that you can throw light on, screening for non-compliance, followed by gas chromatography confirmation at the certified laboratories or regional centers. Is it even happening here in the country?
I don't think that this is happening at all. I'm sorry the light went off, but I will continue.
Sure.
The real issue over here is that there is practically a complete breakdown as far as regulations and safety checks and compliances is concerned. How on earth is an ingredient like diethyl glycol entering into a cough syrup, which is actually a diluent of glycerol? This is beyond any imagination.
Right, absolutely. Amulya, I'd want your inputs now. Considering these deaths have been concentrated in rural areas of Madhya Pradesh like Chhindwara, do you think that also has a role to play here, talking about underprivileged families, and there has been a prescription that was given to very many members of this family. They eventually ended up losing their children to this toxic cough syrup. That also is one of the key aspects in this particular unfortunate case?
Yeah, see, if you see the Madhya Pradesh, this Chhindwara is a tribal district, and most of the people are from the lower strata of the families also. And if you see the stories of few of the cases, they have gone to the private hospitals, they have gone to Nagpur, they have gone to now Chhindwara, and then come to the district hospital. They have spent 5 to 7 lakh rupees from loan. There is auto drivers, the children of auto drivers with 4 years old child, and also what they get the compensation. Yesterday announcement was 4 lakh rupees. So it is not about that. And also the important issue which some of the parents has told, I was not aware about this, some postmortem happened. So why the postmortem has not happened? If there is an investigation, they have what the government has given their statement that they were not ready, the parents were. Why the parents were not? They have not informed. And also the information which is given to them, it's like a due to the kidney. And there were also a confusion has been created for simple fever and simple cough. You are going to the hospital and then you tell your child is suffering from kidney. So that is the entire misconception. And this is the regular practice of the government, especially for Madhya Pradesh. You all know that what happened in the Right Bites in Indore recently, when there was a delay so much to ignorance and also trying not to find out the timely action. And also about this a poor section of the society. Still today, if you see, there is nothing about the compensation and creating awareness among the people. Also about the supply. Here it is not about the government supply. Also so about the drugs which are available in the private medical stores as well as in the private sectors. So how you will control this? I'm not sure whether today all the drugs has been, though it has been banned and all that, whether it has been come out from all the stores, including private sector. In the private hospital, something happened, we are not aware, because there are also quacks, there are also, everyone is not reaching to the public hospitals. So also this is also a story, those who have gone to that. So entire process need an independent inquiry.
Right. So Mr. Guha, I'd like to bring you in here. This concern that Amul is also raising, and it's a very, very legitimate question. Why no autopsies? Because here, and I'd go back to what has come out and come to light in very many of these cases, several of these cases have not seen the presence of DEP as well. That is also one aspect that we must look at, particularly cases from Rajasthan. Is this a case of underreporting or not adequate samples that have been tested? And why no autopsies? Why no postmortem?
There is a procedural lapse here I wanted to mention, that in civilized countries, any information about contamination or any drugs adverse reaction, as soon as it comes to the knowledge of the government, they ban the drug. They direct the withdrawal of the drug forthwith. For example, in America, there is Center of Drug Control, Disease Control, CDC. As soon as something adverse reaction comes to their knowledge, they direct the whole nation to ban this drug, immediately withdraw this, subject to its verification, subject to its analysis, etc. But immediate withdrawal can prevent many deaths coming consequently. So therefore, the system is wrong. The government should have directed immediately, as soon as information comes to the single death, they should have directed the entire pharmaceuticals, drug stores, doctors, everybody should be informed that this drug is banned. Don't use it unless it is proved safe. So this simple thing the government can do, they have not done it. Therefore, this kind of thing will recur. It will repeatedly come and people will die.
So you're saying nothing is going to happen after this emergency meeting of the health ministry? There have been state secretaries, health secretaries who have been summoned from all the states and union territories. There has been a revision of the revised Schedule M that also has come to light. And there is, of course, the cancellation of license of Coldriff. All of this is not going to deter future non-compliant entities?
No, the most important thing is that how much of the decisions taken in such meetings finally is implemented. Finally, it is in the ground level. How much it is acted or it is imposed. There is no such machinery. There is no such intention of the government. Government is indulging the industry to go ahead, whatever they like. Therefore, the intention of the government, intention of the machinery, intention even with some doctors is also conducive to such kind of happening.
Okay. Dr. Mehti, as a new parent, I too would want to know this because usually this is a common perception with many that cough syrup is something that you can easily go ahead and take. There's only so many cases that have come to light in these past years that has raised this alarm. And of course, this figure of 18 deaths is really highly alarming. You began the debate by talking about how such a prescription by any pediatrician should not even have been there. There should not be any prescribing of cough syrups. It's not required. What is the alternative? If a child, an infant, suffers from cough and cold, what is the go-to for any doctor to advise the parent, or what should parents go ahead and should be doing? But because they heavily rely on pediatricians.
If you go through the textbooks, what they say, that if there is a cough infection, there is an exudation, there will be more secretion, therefore your body wants to throw it out. So the ideal therapy would be to help the body to throw out more and more. Therefore, plenty of water has to be taken and steam inhalation. That is the only medicine recommended in the textbooks for this kind of cough and cold infections. No medicine has got any role. But let me tell you that how can medicine be used for such a situation? For any cough infection, if the children go to a pediatrician or something like that, first thing they do, they prescribe an antibiotic, which is not indicated in such situation. Because whatever may be the antibiotics and others, it does not finally reaches to the affected areas. The alveoli they cannot take the medicine. If medicine cannot reach there, therefore antibiotics are useless or dangerous sometimes. Therefore,
Mr. Guha, in fact, thank you so much for laying bare, these travesties when it is about the pharma sector. But I would want a word from Dr. Mehti, considering he is looking at these infant cases, particularly he's a pediatrician. I'd want your expert inputs, Dr. Mehti, on what should a doctor do in such a case? What is this practice that should be the norm when it is about dealing with children?
Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to tell something. because the previous seniors have elaborated nicely about the Indian situations. First of all, I like to inform you for your kind information for all 145 crores of Indians, including the seniors. I am giving my respect and pranam to them. Just I am practicing throughout the day and night in this part of the world, that is Calcutta, and also I'm going to rural side on Sunday. So just I am facing that maximum 80% of the patients are going to the medical shop.
Yes.
They are taking cough syrup
Yes.
without any prescriptions, as some senior doctors have already they without any bill, without any
Absolutely.
computerized.
So it is actually a given that even a chemist can double up as a doctor. Even people go to them and they ask the chemist to prescribe some sort of a medication. They eventually end up giving these cough syrups. That is also very problematic. Dr. Bagai raised that point. But Dr. Bagai, you mentioned about symptoms. You mentioned about what really is happening in this particular case. We're talking about kidney failures. We're talking about seizures. What are the early signs and symptoms can a parent look at to, in fact, allay such a condition?
Okay, so very quickly, I think occasionally a cough syrup is indicated in children, but the important point is, what is it being used for? Are you treating an allergy? Are you treating wheezing or a bronchial asthma? Are you treating a bronchitis or indeed an infection, which occasionally does require antibiotic? So I think we need to make sure that what the clinical indication is. So just a mere blanket statement of whether to use or not use will be totally inappropriate.
Okay.
But with regards to the ingredients which are as adulteration, which happens in this syrup, it is quickly absorbed within 20 to 30 minutes in the body. In the first 12 hours, the child has serious neurological complications, can even unconsciousness, high blood pressure, or variation in heart rate. Within 12 to 24 hours, these crystals start getting deposited as oxalate crystals because it is metabolized very quickly. It is very poorly excreted, so it is retained in the body, even worse so for these small children. And the tubules and the glomerulus gets damaged in the kidney, and the child goes into complete kidney shutdown with no urine output. Even with dialysis, but with comorbidities, the mortality rate can be very high.
Is there any early sign or symptom that a parent can look at?
Yeah, breathing difficulty, less urine output, altered sensorium, and altered heart rate. But in a sick child who's already on other medications, very often a layman as parents may miss these clinical signs. Therefore, there has to be a level of safety checks and safeguards in the medication during production and distribution. Very important is chemists and pharmacists are not doctors.
Yes.
They cannot prescribe medicines. And if they are selling any medicines, it has to be with a valid prescription and a proper invoice, which is with digital records and monitoring.
Right. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank all my panelists. That was a very insightful panel.